Talking with Angie Krieger right now, and we're talking about real pork, and we'll be getting here to Rich Deaton in just a minute. But Angie, first of all, real pork, tell us about what it is and what it means for the pork industry.
Real Pork is our new trust and image brand, and we launched it late last year. And the goal of Real Pork is to create demand for our producers by differentiating our products from the alternatives and celebrating everything that is real about the pork industry. And that's everything from farm to fork.
And, you know, obviously last year, a curveball, big curveball. When you're promoting a situation like Real Pork and promoting the product, how do you adapt in that situation when you're rolling out a program like this?
Well, certainly the pandemic created a lot of interesting new trends with consumers. More consumers were cooking from home. We didn't have a food service business, and the products in the case were a little bit different than they'd been before. But we relied on our consumer insights. Our producers have invested millions of dollars in consumer insights to make sure that we are doing the right things for the industry. And we just really leaned into that. Consumers want variety, and pork provides that with all the different cuts that we have. They want something that their family will enjoy and that's good for their family. And so we've been really able to use the Real Pork trust and image brand to help us bring those messages to consumers.
And with the situations we faced, no matter what they were, the cuts of pork available, like you said, sometimes were different from what we were used to. Did we see the public really go after something different, or really something that stood out from the rest of the cuts?
We did. Consumers, they raised their food IQ actually during the pandemic, and they enjoyed a lot more cuts that they hadn't tried maybe in the past. And one of the biggest winners for us has been ground pork. Ground pork became a destination product for consumers. They couldn't get their favorite Italian or Chinese or Mexican food at restaurants, and a lot of those include pork. And so they were recreating them at home. As they found the recipes, they needed to find ground pork. And so it's been a huge success story for us, and it continues on now that people are getting back to normal life.
And so when we think about the farm to fork, as you're talking about, what's the message? Maybe I have to go with Rich on this one. What's the message from the farmer side of it that we want to make sure we're putting out there for those consumers to hear?
Thanks, Dustin. The Real Pork message really will resonate well with us as pig farmers, because we're real people, we're authentic, we have real farms, we raise real pigs in real facilities. And so it's a great platform for us to be able to tell our story underneath that Real Pork Trust and Image campaign. So I'm excited about it, and I anticipate getting a lot of producers excited to be involved in telling their story about their real story about raising real pigs.
So what is that story that you're using, and what kind of things is the Pork Board offering to help the producers tell that story to the consumers?
So this will give us a platform to do that. We'll go out and get the producers that are interested in being involved in this, and just allow them to just tell the story of how they care about their pigs, how they care about the family members and employees that are involved in raising their pigs, and just in processes of raising the pigs. We don't have anything to hide. This is a great platform to be authentic and telling the public, our consumers, and also our producers that we're excited and we're passionate and we really care about what we're doing.
So definitely something that can tie into that we care message that the Pork Board has put out for so long.
Absolutely. It will be a platform that allow our producers to just continue to tell the story that we care what we're doing. We care about the pigs, we care about our people, we care about producing safe and wholesome food.
Angie, back to you. Now, obviously, when you're rolling out a program like Real Pork and you have the pandemic, that throws a monkey wrench into things. But now, depending on where you're at in the country, states are coming back out of this. Things are starting to get back to normal, especially here in Iowa. What is the plan going forward to kind of bring things back to what you kind of envisioned it to be when it took off?
Yeah, well, food service likely won't come back as quickly as it declined. And part of that is because consumers rediscovered their enjoyment of cooking at home. And we love that, but we also are partnering very closely with our food service partners to make sure that pork is on the menu when consumers do go back to enjoy their favorite restaurants. A lot of restaurants closed during the pandemic, and those won't come back. But those who survived are really thinking about how they can create a menu that will draw consumers in. And so pork has a place on that menu, and we're excited about those opportunities.
And you said they discovered recipes, and people there, I mean, quite frankly, some people never had that much experience in the kitchen. So how do you tailor that message to someone who maybe doesn't have that confidence in their cooking skills? How did you tailor that and keep them going forward in this?
Yeah, well, Real Pork, Rich said it, is all about authenticity. And so we've partnered in the past with a lot of great professional chefs, but we're also working with influencers. So they could be anyone. It could be your neighbor who's an influencer, and they're showing how they enjoy pork in their home. And that makes it more accessible for consumers, and we've had a lot of success with that. We're going to launch a campaign later this summer where we're celebrating the favorite pork dish in every state. It's called United States of Pork, and we'll have all of those assets on our website at pork.org, and we're really excited about how consumers can think about, for example, we're in Iowa, it's the pork tenderloin. Like, that's probably not a big surprise, but there's other states where it's pork tenderloin as well. We want to have some friendly competition to see whose is best.
And I know we highlighted ground pork, obviously, as the one that really took off. But as people learned how to cook more and more and got more confidence in there, are we still seeing that growth in all the other cuts as well, where we're starting to see them come off the shelves more and see that domestic demand on the supply side? I mean, domestic demand in the marketplace to really start to grow? Domestic
demand is incredibly strong, and we're really proud of that. And we're determined to make sure it stays that way. The beauty is people rediscovered pork during the pandemic. They were tired of the same old things they were cooking. And so, yes, all of the cuts are performing very well. And we're just incredibly excited about the possibilities for the future.
Rich, obviously pork is raised many different ways. There are different ways of doing it. And obviously it's an industry where everybody has to work together to benefit everybody, no matter if you've got the large barns or you grow an organic product.
Sure.
I mean, what's the message that farmers, no matter where they're at in that arena, what's that message that they can really bring forward that, hey, the supply is here, you're enjoying it, we're gonna keep producing it, and we're gonna keep producing it so you know that you are gonna get a good quality product?
Yeah, so a good question, Dustin, and as Angie said, it's the Real Pork Trust in Image campaign. It gives us an opportunity to ensure our consumers that we have a supply that's coming. That we have a supply here and a supply that's coming, and we'll continue to work in maintaining that supply and make sure everybody enjoys our product. The other thing that allows us to do, Dustin, is it allows us to bust the myth that is out there as well. Unfortunately, sometimes we get placed in a box of how our pigs are raised. They're dirty, various things. So it allows us as farmers to tell the story. This is how we do it, and show them pictures, and get intimately involved in just getting excited about people enjoying our product.
All right, and so I'm going to have final thoughts from both of you here. Rich, we'll start with you. What's that final message that you want to give to the producers here in Iowa about what they need to know and what they can do to really help tell their own story to get that out to the consumers?
Yeah, thanks, Dustin. First of all, don't be afraid of being authentic, and just be real. Nobody likes somebody that's inauthentic or fake. So just don't be afraid of opening your doors. Just tell them what you do, and just you love the product, you love to being involved and passionate about doing raising pigs, and that we care about our community and we care about the environment. Just tell the story of what we're doing. That's all we need to do.
All right, and Angie, your final thoughts, as we look ahead to the second half of 2021, going into 2022, Can't believe we're saying that already. Can we look at from the Real Pork Initiative and what it's going to bring here coming forward?
Well, I mentioned the campaign that we have coming out with the United States of Pork, which is very food focused. Rich just mentioned myth busting. We are really excited to be working with an A-list actor, Eric Stonestreet, on a myth busting campaign. Eric is uniquely qualified to talk about the pork industry because before he went to Hollywood, he grew up on a farm in Kansas and showed 4-H pigs, and he's very passionate about what that time in his life brought to his future success. So that'll be rolling out around October, and we're incredibly excited to be working with him.
All right. Well, we thank you both for taking the time to visit with us here today.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thank you.